YouTubers, Mike Martins here, Mike Martins channel. Just bringing you, I got a really good article here for the housing crisis international. It's a big one. Don't turn it off. Please don't turn it off. Someone asked me earlier who my favorite singer was or who inspired me when I was growing up. Billy Idol. All the way. Saw him in concert many times, met him twice. And Billy Idol is in the English-speaking language, Billy Idol, to me, in the English-speaking language, is by far one of the best artists, whatever you want to call it, musician, whatever you want to call it. He's by far. Anyways, this article has to do with New Zealand. And before you turn it off and say, I don't care about New Zealand, you better care about New Zealand because this is a big friggin' deal. Nation of debt. It's a good article. New Zealand sitting on $500 billion in debt bomb. I'm going to read that one more time because your ears probably didn't believe what I just told you. Nation of debt. New Zealand sitting on $500 billion debt bomb. Yeah, I had to repeat that. Kiwis are treating their houses like cash machines, pilling out the debts. It's pilling, by the way, not pulling. Pilling on the debts as they watch the value of their properties soar. New Zealand is sitting on $500 billion debt bomb. Kiwis are increasingly treating their houses like cash machines, pilling on debt as they watch the value of their properties soar. Reserve Bank figures show household debt, excluding investment property, has risen 23% in the past 5 years. $163.4 billion. Incomes have risen only 11.5%. Do the math, it doesn't work out. Households are now carrying a debt level that is equivalent to 162% of their annual disposable income. Higher than the level reached before by global financial crisis. People, wake the F up. Like he's saying right here, take me back home, yeah. I'm going to calm down here because this is out of control. Listen to what he's saying. There's nothing safe in this world, and there's nothing sure in this world, and there's nothing pure in this world. Introducing property investments. The total debt households owed as of April, $232.9 billion according to the Reserve Bank. How can you even know that much? Satish Rachand, a senior economist at Westpac Bank, says the main driver has been low interest rates. Free money, Ponzi! Come out, take your free money. Continued low interest rates have sparked a sharp increase in the household borrowing at a time when income growth has been very modest. How's about nobody wants to pay? How about nobody wants to pay? That's the problem. It's not that it's very modest. It's nobody wants to pay anymore because nothing's being created or made in New Zealand anymore. And it's the loans where the growth has mainly come from. Housing loan debt has risen 23.4% to $132.2 billion. Student loans were up 22.9%. Yeah, get them degrees. So when you get a fireplace, you could burn it to help warm your house. We're up 22.8%. Consumer loans are up 16.6% to $15.7 billion. Richon said much of rising debt on housing was down investors as more people jumped into property market the back of rising house prices. Stop timing the market. I keep telling you people, you don't want to time the market. We also believe that many people are using their homes as loans to make consumer purchases. We think a lot to increase the lending on housing loans will also be an increase in spending. People feel wealthy when the value of their homes go up. You're wealthy on paper. I don't think you understand what paper means. I'm going to tell you how to say paper in Portuguese. It's papel. In Spanish, it's papel. It's paper. You're wealthy on paper. Try feed your family off paper. We think a lot of the increase of lending and housings will also be an increase in spending. People feel wealthy when the value of their homes go up. Here's the difference again. Once again, feeling wealthy and being wealthy is a huge difference. Renting a Lamborghini and owning a Lamborghini is different. McQueen, an Auckland financial coach and managing director of Enable Me, said she had seen 3 clients in the past week alone who had paid for a new car by using the equity in their home, increasing their mortgage debt. It's definitely on the increase, people think. It's worth so much more now. But the risk of continuing to add to the mortgage to pay off big-ticket items was that one day the bank might say no, or the debt could become too much. Has anyone ever thought of, what if the house is worth less than what I bought it for? Then you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It makes no sense. McQueen said that one couple she knew were having to sell their property to pay back their loan because they could no longer service the debt, and the bank has declined to lend them more money. And then here it says in quotations, the reality is there will be a hiccup. It's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. No, it's not if, it's when. Yeah, because it will happen. It will definitely happen, especially in New Zealand. Research showed about 80% who did this once did so again. McQueen said that one-off big buys such as cars, holidays, should be paid for out of people's cash flow rather than housing equity. Otherwise, people were spending more than they earned, a move which could catch up to them when interest rates rose if they left their job. Do you understand? They're going to have to raise interest rates. They're going to have to raise interest rates because if New Zealand's economy is striving off the housing market like Vancouver is, they're going to have to raise interest rate to stimulate the market. Take it from a guy that knows nothing, okay? Let's continue here. If interest... Okay, I got that. Jeffrey Stagel, a character financial analyst, CFA, an economist lecturer at Massey University, said that people were getting caught up in euphoria without considering the rest of the risk of economic shock, which would be caused by event outside of New Zealand. Yeah. The reality is there will be a hiccup. It's a matter of not when, but if. No, it will happen. It's definitely is going to happen. You cannot stop the inevitable. Stagel said during the global financial crisis, it was corporates that got caught up with too much debt. Businesses having to right now, they are backing out of debt and having got their balance sheets in order prior to the global financial crisis. Corporates were the ones that were whacked really good. Now, said the households were the ones more at risk. So I'm going to leave a link for this article because it's really, really long. And this has a 5-step thing to get out of debt. I really, really, really recommend you guys to read this, especially even if you're not in New Zealand, because I am extremely proud to say I have no debt. Zero. I don't owe anything. And that's what is giving me the extra funds to renovate my house that I bought free and clear, because I have no debt, so it's easier to save money. Basically, it's an interesting story. My house, I bought it free and clear because I was saving for so many years to buy a house in Vancouver where the bubble was so big, and the average house is like 1.7, 1.8 million, and the house I was looking at was 3 million. So you got to pony up at least 800 large if you want to buy a house in Vancouver. So I said, you know what, I'm moving to a small town. I'm going to buy a house free and clear, and I'm going to be smart and spend more time with my family and do that. And that's what I did, and it's the best move I ever did. And I strongly recommend it to everyone to strongly consider leaving the major cities and going out and moving to Cowtown or Cowboy Town or Horsetown or Farmville. Make a life for yourself. Get out. If you especially have a bit of savings, be smart. You know, Think of your kids, your future. No one's thinking 3 generations ahead anymore. Everyone's thinking for themselves, and that's becoming a massive problem in the housing market. And now all these English-speaking countries, you got a bunch of people thinking that they're rich on paper. And being rich on paper means nothing. Because of the top 10 countries that have gold reserves, I'll give you an explanation. One of the very few countries in Europe that has any gold reserve is Portugal, Sweden, I think Denmark. There's like 4 countries in Europe that actually have gold in their reserves. There's countries like Italy, United States, what was the other one? Germany, that have so much gold on paper, but they don't have the reserves to back it. It's the same thing when you're buying your house and you're buying all these big ticket items on the equity of the house. It's like you're gambling your future away. That equity is supposed to save up over the next 10, 20, 30 years and use that equity to travel and leave the house for the kids, take out a small equity loan and just travel and do things and meet people. And now it's not happening. It's like most people now in this generation, they don't have, like my generation in their 30s and 40s, have no retirement backed up unless they work for the government. You know, and you're working from the government. It's different because it's not a public position or a private position where you get taxed working for the government and you're like, I'm paying so much taxes. Yeah, but your whole pay is coming from other people's taxes. But I'm not getting into that right now. The whole student loan thing is a big deal too. But I'm not going to get into that right now. And a lot of countries are banking on their student loans to help boost or boost their economies. And that's really sad. Anyways, let me know what you Kiwis think down there in New Zealand. I got a lot of friends down there watching this channel. I would like to know what you guys think about this because this is beyond anything anyone would have imagined 20 years ago. This is like, we were supposed to have flying cars by the year 2000. We were supposed to have so much more. I looked forward to so much more when the year 2000 hit. And now it's like people are using homes for bank machines. Whatever happened to home where's the heart is? Home is where the heart is, or family is where the home is, or country roads take me home. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I would love to hear your replies to this.